Hey guys, here we are. I'm so glad that you could join us. So far, we have 11 people watching.
Happy Saturday.
Yes, happy Saturday. This is the first time doing a live Q&A on a Saturday, and we just wanted to see who was going to be able to chime in.
Yeah.
You know, for some reason, we got into this Thursday night thing.
Yeah, I don't know. It just happened on accident.
Well, it worked with our schedule, and we were hoping that it was going to work with a lot of other people's schedules, but I see I already got people tuning in. Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
Larry saying hello, and Jeanette. I don't know. I'm sure Frank.
Jeanette.
I'm sure Frank is there too.
I don't know. He might be out doing something with the cars.
Yes, I've noticed that Frank has actually been posting more, which is awesome.
That is good to see.
But I figure we'll just jump into it real quick while you guys are here. Yesterday, Laurie, you definitely want to hold this.
Oh yes.
Yesterday we unveiled the silver play button.
I don't want to touch it. I don't want to put fingerprints.
I know it's really awesome. And like I said, we have all of you to thank for this. Thank you so much for all your support, tuning in, your dedication, and thank you, Laurie, for doing so much for the channel.
Going like this.
Actually, wanted to push. You should have pushed. Yeah, elbow me in the side. But remember, for 4 years, guys, Laurie was telling me to start a YouTube channel, but it was, you know, that self-doubt, that thing
that we all have.
Yeah, that we all have. That you just didn't think. I didn't think people would be interested in watching. I really didn't. But
well, people really want to know what you have to say. I know I want to know what he has to say. And anytime I'm researching a car, I seriously go, what does Joe Rady have to say about this? Well, and I look for it on your
And I think
page.
The cool thing is that now that we're doing a few more things together, we're going to have you in front of the camera more, that people are going to want to hear your perspective, because obviously you're a little newer to the car fashion scene, but you're here and you have your own views.
And you know, women do tend to buy a lot of cars.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, they do say, I think research says that the majority of car purchases are the female, because not only if it's just for them, but also for other people in the family.
Yeah, well, the whole family pretty much.
Yes, definitely.
So usually, you know.
But thank you once again, guys. I didn't hang it up yet. I wanted to show it off a little bit more. We worked so hard for this. You guys, your dedication, your support. But thank you. This is as much yours as it is ours. And like I said, Laurie, you've done so much. If you guys haven't realized, she has done so much for the channel and continues. And guess what? Next year, we got some big things coming into play with you getting more involved. And it's just going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
I've already asked Joe where he's going to hang it up, and he hasn't decided yet.
I haven't decided yet. What's nice is that Laurie has helped me get a little office together.
Because the YouTube channel used to be set up on our dining room table.
kitchen table.
So you can imagine, I was like, honey, it's time to get the stuff off my kitchen table.
Frankie says garage.
Garage, yes.
I think I want to keep that inside the house. There's a lot of other stuff I have on the walls in our garage. And we've actually, you helped me bring in some of my old trophies and flags from racing and stuff like that. But I'm just so glad that you guys are here. We're already up to 85 people, which is awesome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
And the unboxing video is already over 4,000 views on the unboxing video.
Well, it's exciting. A lot of us that don't have a YouTube channel want to know the kind of stuff that YouTube content creators get. So it's pretty cool to see that they send you.
Well, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, and you produce great content, so it's well deserved.
Well, you definitely help. Thank you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
You're so sweet. So we have like a little list of things that we're going to talk about. Remember, at any time, if you have a question, please ask. And if you use that super chat feature, we'll be able to see.
Hi, Mom. My mom's
tuning in. Hey, Kathy. That's my mother-in-law and Laurie's mom, Kathy, from St. Louis, Missouri, which we'll be going to for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you love St. Louis in
November. Of course.
It's just beautiful that time of year.
But like I was saying, anybody have any specific questions, definitely ask. We're going to try to get to as many as we can. We have some topics we're going to talk about. And if you want to use the super chat feature, feel free, and we'll see how it goes. But
and Mickey also says, hey, what car does Laurie want? And stay tuned for that, because we're going to be talking about that a little bit toward the end of the video today.
Laurie has been.
I've been researching.
We've been looking, and I think it may surprise a lot of you. And it's just a different type of thing that we're looking at here.
Frankie has a quick question. What's the super chat?
So super chat is a way where you can actually help support Rady's Rides. It's a feature that allows your question, your statement, your name to be at the top, and you can apply any amount of money that you want.
Any amount.
$1, $3. And what's great is it all goes to Rady's Rides. Yeah. And then we could use it to get gear, go visit subscribers, go to the LA Auto Show.
We're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing. Yes. And we're going to be doing a meetup for one of our first meetups ever.
Yes.
Coming in November.
Yes.
And so, because as you can see, there's a lot of chats coming through. And there's no way for us to be able to keep on top of it. So if you want to, if you have a question, burning question, you want to make sure it gets answered, or you just want to support the channel, do a super chat. It's that little $sign you'll see on the chat feature.
And I noticed you're wearing the old school.
I got my old school.
This was the first
Rady's Rides.
This was one of the first Rady's Rides shirts that Laurie designed. It was awesome. But let's get to what we're going to talk about. So the first thing is Yosemite. As many of you are aware, Honda sent Laurie and I out to Yosemite to spend time with the Passport in an environment that we're not used to. So what do you think about the Passport?
Well, you guys probably remember from the last time we did this, there were two cars that of the press fleet vehicles. Because when the last time we did the Q&A, we talked a little bit about all the press fleet vehicles you've been getting and some of my favorites. And one of my two favorites was the Honda Passport. Yes. And I just like how spacious it is. I like how comfortable it is. But granted, I only rode around with you here locally. Yep. So, I mean, in Florida, it's pretty flat. Guys. So
we got speed bumps.
Yeah, there's not a lot to do. But one of the things that Honda says is that the Passport can be a multi-use vehicle. So it's city driving and off-roading as well. So when they flew us out to Yosemite, I really wanted to get behind the wheel because I've never done any off-roading. There's just not a lot of off-roading going on in my life. And I might want to spice it up with a little off-roading. Yeah, so I thought, hey, why not? And so here's what we did. So we get to Yosemite. First of all, they gave us a passport at the airport to drive.
That was cool.
Which was really cool.
That was cool.
It was so comfortable and nice.
Definitely.
So we drove an hour and a half, all these twisty roads to get to the park, the auto park.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them? The auto camp.
Yeah. So basically, like Laurie said, they gave us the passport. It had the directions and the navigation already. We stayed at a place called Auto Camp, and what's interesting is they had taken these old Streamliner motorhomes and basically converted them into gutted them,
Tempur-Pedic beds.
Yeah,
I mean, it was unbelievable. Nice. If you're somebody who's like wants to camp but not sure, like, because I'm not like I love the idea of camping, but I'm not really much of a camper myself. My mom can attest to that if she's here. Yeah. So I'm not the biggest camper either. But these things were beautiful. It was really nice.
It gave you a nice variety and a nice way of doing it, which was nice.
It was an adventure.
But we stayed at the auto camp, and then we were able to do an excursion where we went mountain bike riding, which was a blast. And Laurie got to drive the Pilot Passport off-road.
So what we did was, we had some time to go spend with the Passport, and so we get in it, and I'm like, where do you want to go? Joe's like, I don't know. So we just tear off in the opposite direction. And then all of a sudden, on our left-hand side, Joe sees a sign that says one-way bridge, and he's like, whips it around. We head for this one-way bridge. We go driving back through the area, and all of a sudden, the road is gone. Yeah, like definitely. It's just dirt and a little bit of gravel. It's mostly dirt. And so that's where we were like, okay, this is the perfect spot to really get a chance for it. I mean, it was up and down and sideways.
The turkeys and everything else.
And so
you definitely have to watch the video. We have the video on the channel. They definitely, if you have not seen the review of that Passport, I think watching Laurie drive it and seeing the turkeys and everything is worth watching it just for itself. It was a blast. Like there was these turkeys we were chasing at one point, which was pretty hilarious, and then they flew off. But aside from that, we got to put it in sand mode. Now, I owned a Subaru Crosstrek once, but the Crosstrek doesn't have different modes per se. So this was pretty cool for me, and it was interesting to feel how the tail end really is a little loose in the sand, in the dirt. And it was really, really awesome to be able to be behind the wheel on that. Definitely. So it was a blast at Yosemite. The next thing that we got to experience, at least I got to experience it because it was only an invitation for myself, was I got to go to Road Atlanta as a guest of Acura. So thankfully, I went to Road Atlanta for the Petit Le Mans race. It's a 10-hour endurance race. It's the last race of the IMSA WeatherTech series. So there's some big things that are going on. Acura won the prototype class, the DPI class championship. They also won the GTD championship with the Acura NSX. So those were big things for Acura, and it was so awesome to just be a guest. They didn't want me to film. They didn't want me to do anything else but just enjoy the weekend and get to see an amazing track with amazing cars.
Which you had never been to the Petit Le Mans.
Never been to the Petit Le Mans, but I did. Last time I was at Road Atlanta was in 1998. I actually raced a Formula Ford car there. So it was kind of surreal being back there. Lots of changes. We were in this Michelin tower where there's all these corporate suites, which was amazing to. I've never experienced a race where I got to sit in a corporate suite and have full access anywhere like that. I mean, I had access to anything, the hot pits, the paddock, the whole 9 yards. But what was special for me was that was the last race of the C7R. So no more front engine Corvette now that the C8 Corvette is coming out. And it was the last time. What was cool was that the C8R was there and did do an exhibition lap. It wasn't at speed or anything like that, but it allowed us to hear, guess what? The C8R has a flat plane crankshaft. That's the same setup as a GT350, as a Shelby GT350.
Really?
So it's got that unique sound to it that allows it to rev higher than a standard Corvette. And obviously being mid-engine, totally different. Of course, after the race started, after I got to have some lunch and stuff, I walked over to the paddock and saw I finally got to see the C8 Corvette.
So what did you think?
Well, at first I was a little bothered because I didn't have you there. And I thought, what better way to share this with you? But also, of course, you being the great camera person that you are, would have been great to get the C8 Corvette on Rady's Rides, like an actual review. So that kind of, I had my hands tied in that sense. I did some stuff for Instagram, which I've been posting.
If you guys haven't seen yet, there's some posts on Instagram.
But I'm liking it for the most part. Where I zonk it, and I originally was going to zonk it anyways, even before seeing it in person, was the tail of it, the rear end. It literally looks like somebody took a Camaro, kind of pinched it, and then stretched it. So I'm not really digging that. The front I like, and I also like the sides. I'm just a little concerned about the gloss black plastic. There's a lot of gloss black on the front of the car.
When you did the walk around on Instagram and then you pointed out that gloss black on the side.
There's a ton of it.
It's a lot.
There's a ton of it. Now, I know that there's going to be an option where you could actually get, like, for example, where the air intakes are on the side of the car behind the driver and passenger door, you could get those body colored, which it'd be interesting to see what those look like body colored. But being just regular gloss black plastic, I wasn't digging it. The interior was second to none.
Okay, well, now, here's my question, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm not sure how I feel about that waterfall of buttons. What did you think?
I mean, I personally thought it was just different and cool. I mean, I would have to actually sit behind the wheel and feel what those buttons are how those buttons are gonna interact with the driver. Now, what's funny is the passenger's kind of screwed.
Yeah, they don't get
because you're just sitting over there and you're totally separate from the driver, which, hey, maybe a good thing for some people. I don't know, but definitely, you know, next week I'm going out to a local dealership because the C8 Corvette truck is going to be there. I am going to be able to film it and bring it to you guys next week. So stay tuned because Rady's Rides will actually be getting into a C8 Corvette, getting up close and personal with a C8 Corvette, just like I did at Road Atlanta, but I'll have cameras and stuff to be able to film with, which is going to be great. Now, the good news is they did have the convertible, the Spider, I guess you could call it, at Road Atlanta. What's fascinating, it only weighs 80 pounds more than the coupe.
That is interesting.
Which you would think it would weigh a lot more because there's a lot more pieces there.
Right.
I actually have a video, and I'm not sure if I posted on Instagram yet, of the actual top going up. And it doesn't take very long.
So are they going to have different trims of the C8?
Of course. You know, everybody keeps saying 60,000, 60,000, 60,000. That's a base Corvette. I mean,
is that a Stingray? Or they
that's a Stingray, yes. Okay. The only one that they're going to have available for 2020 is the C8, is the Stingray.
Okay.
Then they're going to trickle in the Z06, hopefully a ZR1, I'm sure a Grand Sport, something like that. But what's really interesting is that I'm surprised that they actually unveiled both the coupe and the convertible in the same year.
Right.
If I was General Motors, I would want to create the excitement for the coupe, get a bunch of people to buy the coupe, and then next year do the convertible and see if other people would then get rid of their coupes and go buy a convertible. So then you get it on both ends.
That is interesting.
You know, if you go back to 1986 with the C4, so C4 came out in 1984. It was just a coupe, 84 and 85.
Okay.
They didn't come out with a convertible until 86. So that's a 2-year gap before they even had a convertible.
That's interesting.
It's different, you know. I think that in a way, and a lot of people are saying this because of the the union strike that's going on with the factory workers, that Chevrolet is doing this to kind of shift the attention away from the strike. And that's actually an interesting thing to bring up, because guess what? They're saying because of the strike that it may take extra time for now people to get their
So
C8
when are
Corvettes.
they supposed to get their C8 Corvettes?
Well, we talked to like that buddy that we know, Rick. He was supposed to get his in like January or February of next year. Who knows? Who knows when they're going to get it? So it will be interesting to see what they're going to do about the strike. Supposedly the strike is coming to an end soon, but it's still in place.
Well, you don't know about these kinds of things.
You don't know. You don't know. But overall, I am happy with the C8 Corvette. It still breaks my heart to not have the engine up front. I mean, that's just – but is it going to be a better performer? Sure. What's interesting is that the new Corvette actually weighs more – the C8 weighs more than the C7.
That is interesting.
Yeah, so that's one thing. How is that going to affect handling? Also, what's the long-term case? After somebody buys a car a year later, are things going to keep going good with it? Are they going to have tons of bugs and issues?
Well, and that's the interesting thing about buying the first one of a totally redesigned vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big risk. It's like doing an IPO.
And I'm sure many of the viewers remember, and I'm sure you remember, this isn't General Motors' first mid-engine car. There was a car called the Fiero. And back in 1980s, when they came out with the Fiero, they were having engine fires and stuff. Obviously, the 80s was a much different time, a cooler time, but it was a much different time, especially for the car manufacturers, especially U.S. car manufacturers. So I don't think there's going to be engine fires, at least I hope not. But
you don't know.
You don't know.
You can't predict the future, so we don't know.
So,
all right.
Another thing that
Yes, go.
One more thing I wanted to add there. Another thing that was the last, besides the C7R Corvette racing, was also the end of the Ford GT factory program.
Yeah, that was pretty. So who ended up? Well, tell us a little bit about, because some of us probably didn't see the race.
So
and for that
the race for the GTLM class, it wound up being that the Ford GT finished second. Yeah. So it was interesting
versus the Ferrari.
Versus the Ferrari and versus the BMWs,
right?
which is fascinating. But there is that great movie coming out, Ford versus
somebody
Ferrari.
asked, are you guys excited about it?
Heck yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait for that. Yeah. But the next bit of news.
Wait. Before one more thing. Yes. Talk to us a little bit about your experience with the Acura Hot Lap.
Oh, how can I forget that?
I don't know.
So part of that whole deal with Acura was that I got a hot lap in an NSX around Road Atlanta with Ryan Eversley, which is one of their factory drivers. He actually drives in the TCR Championship, racing a Honda Civic Type R. It was awesome. I mean, it was so incredible. The grip that NSX has with its all-wheel drive setup, because remember, you have the electric hybrid motors running the front wheels and the twin turbocharged V6 running the rear wheels. And what's fascinating to me was that the car did not have track-specific tires. The Continentals that were on that NSX were the ones that if you go down to Clearwater Acura right now and buy, same tires.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So remember, if you have a specific question, you want us to get to it, you can use the Super Chat feature, and that will make it pop up, because there's lots of questions. We got, what's awesome, over 84 people watching right now,
That's
which
really
is awesome.
Great, yes.
So I see Brandon brought up S209 time. S209 time, yes. So big news with the S209, they finally announced pricing. Now, I'm not usually the type of person that says, well, I told you so. But if you go back to our review when we were at the New York Auto Show.
Oh, yeah.
And we did that awesome camera work.
Back in April.
I had said it was going to be $64,000, $65,000.
You did, and I remember everybody getting all upset about it and reading
it ain't going to be that, blah, 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 blah.
$65,000 for, what is the new thing? Some of the features.
Oh, like the water sprayer.
Yeah, the water sprayer.
Yeah. So S209 pricing, you're basically looking at $64,000. It's $63,995 plus. I think it's like a $800 destination delivery fee for bringing it to the dealership.
Well, that's pretty.
That's pretty regular. They're only making 209 of them. Which
I thought it was 250.
No, they decided 209 because S209, 209. Which is interesting because if you look at like the Series Gray WRX STI, they made 250 of those.
Okay.
They made 500 WRXs. They made 500 Type RAs. So this is actually pretty low number.
Wow.
And believe it or not, there's a lot of dealerships that I can't believe are not getting them. Like Reeves, Subaru in Tampa, which is one of the biggest Subaru dealerships in our area, is not getting one. And of course, that's one dealership that I have really good connections with.
Sure.
We do have some dealerships getting some, and then that's another question. There are already dealerships adding $5, $10, $15, $20,000 on top of sticker.
It's unbelievable.
There is actually one in Delray Beach, Florida, that literally, it's no joke, guys. They have it listed for $150,000.
You've got to be kidding me. How do they get away with doing that?
Well, I guess in a capitalistic society.
Do you really think somebody's going to pay that? Do you guys really think somebody's going to pay that?
Here's the thing. Remember, I witnessed somebody pay $108,000 for a Toyota Supra.
Okay.
Toyota Supra's $50,000, and they put a $50,000 markup on it. Now, I know that's still not as high as $150,000 for an S209.
I don't know.
But, you know, it's a shame because I would love to get behind the wheel of an S209.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
eventually we will.
Especially being a Subaru person and that kind of stuff. It's just it's a special car. And I know there's so many people that are like, for the performance and the money, I'll go get a C8. Listen, not everybody wants a C8 Corvette. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And for me, it's not always about performance. There's also
not everybody wants
experience. Yeah, I mean,
it's like Baskin Robbins.
If I could get an awesome deal on a 1995 NSX, I would jump on it.
Yeah.
Now, is it as fast as a C8 Corvette? No, but who cares? It's a 1995 NSX. I mean, it just.
If you could, you would have one of everything.
Yes, that's the plan.
So
that is the info on the S2. What do you think about the S209? Do you like the way it looks?
I think it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I love how I really like the white.
So you go white over
I would go white. I would go white 100. You know why? Because of the wheels.
That's true.
The gold wheels. I don't understand why they're doing blue with black wheels. That actually kind of makes me a little frustrated.
I guess because if you go over to Germany when they're racing the 24 Hours of the Nürburgring, Subaru has an STI where they run a black gunmetal wheel on their race car.
Okay. Well,
But still.
I mean, why not make it an option then?
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't that sound like a pretty,
sure.
realistic option?
Sure.
Like you can choose between the wheels and you can choose between the colors.
Yeah.
That way you get what you want.
I know you're right. And
I do love the cherry blossom.
Yeah, that looks good.
I love the way it looks. I'm really excited to see it. I really want to get behind the wheel of it too.
I know. And Brandon brought up a good point. Could I do a comparison with one in my Type RA? If I could get access to one, I would love to do that.
That would be worth
we're hoping, fingers crossed, that when we go to the LA Auto Show in a few weeks, that I'll be meeting with some of the PR people for Subaru to hopefully start being invited to some of their events, because I really feel like Rady's Rides, we deserve to be at those events, and you guys deserve to have us there.
Yeah, well, a lot of you guys might be wondering, why aren't we there yet? And it's really genuinely because we're still fairly new to the scene. I mean, Joe's been at it for less than right around 2 years.
This will be our 2-year anniversary, October 22nd. 2 years. Rady's Rides will be. That's it.
Yeah, and so I mean, people like Doug, and some of these other guys, they've been at it for years.
Yeah, Doug DeMarle's been at it for like 10 years.
Oh gosh.
So very, very long time. I guess we're up to probably a topic that a lot of people. Or should we look at any of these questions?
Our list. Yeah, let's take a look at questions. And guys, if you have any questions that you want to make sure we see, just go ahead and use the super chat.
Sure.
But I'll scroll up a little bit here. So somebody had asked about the markup.
Let's talk about the markups on the
GT500.
So that person, Unknown TV, that's Tyler. Tyler and his buddy Carl, they were the ones that came all the way to Walker Ford, drove almost 2 hours to have Carl's Mustang reviewed on the channel, which we did. And what's awesome is that Tyler and Carl, they were so nice, and we did a great review. But Tyler has a question. What about the markups on the GT500? You're right. I mean, there's markups on everything. It's not just Subarus. It's not just the Type R. There are plenty of dealerships marking up the GT500 $20,000, $15,000, $25,000. The problem is, and the challenge is that if you look, you should be able to find something. I mean, there are dealerships. Not all of them are doing that, which is the good news. But you're looking at about $20,000, $25,000. There's Frank. Frank came in.
Yes.
Car Story. $20,000, $25,000 the markup for a GT500. What else we got?
I was actually just I scrolled back up and I saw WB Wayne's post about how his buddy's GT Fastback caught fire on a first date with his now wife
on the 7 Mile Bridge. Yeah, that's not. You just never know.
That comment just caught my eye.
You just never know when you buy the first. And everybody always told me that. And I bought the Type R, and that's one of the reasons why I regretted some of it. Was that it was not. I had issues. I had issues with the ECU, the wiring harness that went to the ECU. Body panels weren't popping out and not fitting right back together. I mean, it was a mess. And
so we have another question about the Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Have you done a review on that?
No, I have. It's hard to track those down because either A, they're all ragged out, or B, I just don't know somebody that has one that's nice and in good shape enough to bring on the channel. Because my thing is if I'm going to review one for the channel, I want it to be the right one. I don't want to just grab anybody with a Genesis and bring it. But definitely the Genesis Coupe is a car that I wish that Hyundai did not stop producing. And it was a car that if they would have kept developing it, could have been a top performer. I mean, could you imagine, like, for example, the Genesis Coupe taking the V6 twin turbo out of the G70 and put it into a Genesis Coupe? That would be fast. That would be fun. What do you got? What are you writing here?
Okay.
Shelby versus C8.
That's the ultimate question.
The ultimate question.
Shelby.
So as many of you know, I'm going to assume they're saying GT350.
Yes, GT350 versus C8. Which would you? And I've been actually asking him this a lot.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I still need to actually sit in a C8 Corvette, let alone drive it. I know the Corvette is a lot of performance. I will never sit here and tell you, oh, the Corvette's just a waste. No, they got the price down pat. It's got tons of performance. My issue is I need something just a little bit extra when it comes to the driving engagement. If I was going to buy a C8 Corvette or a GT350, it's not going to be my daily driver. So what that means is when I take it out on the weekend, I'm going to want to feel a feeling that I don't get any other day of the week.
Okay. So
with the GT350, rolling through that 6-speed manual transmission, that Tremec, which is I just love it. Hearing the RPM of that Voodoo engine, I just feel like even though it's not as fast as a C8, I would enjoy that more on a regular basis, taking that out for a spin on the weekends than a C8 Corvette.
I believe it.
But I haven't driven a C8 Corvette, so I'm not going to say without a doubt, but right now the GT350 just has my heart. I mean, it's just a car that's so flexible. And listen, I've been behind the wheel of the ZL1 Camaro, and there have been times where I'm like, would I get a ZL1? Because the ZL1 is definitely faster. And if it's the 1LE, it's really, really faster, especially on a road course. Just that when Andrew let me borrow his GT350 for 4 glorious days.
Yes, 4 glorious days.
Those 4 glorious days. There was just something about it. I fit right into it. Perfect.
Yes.
It was a little piece of heaven.
It was. You were like, well, I can't say.
Can I get a GT350? Are you down with that?
Well, sure. I mean, you can do whatever.
Should I get it? Oh, I can do whatever I want?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's,
Oh, within
the budget.
Yes, of course. I'm not going to blow a budget here.
Yes.
All right, what else we got?
Okay, Honda Fit 2020. Any idea when that's coming?
Honda Fit 20. The 2020s are starting to trickle right now at Tampa Honda, which is my main contact location. They only have the Civic Si, which I've done. They have the Civic hatchback and coupe and all that, which I've done the hatchback. And then they have the 2020 Accord and the 2020 Pilot. We're still waiting on the 2020 Fit, but I definitely will bring it. We were talking about this earlier. On Rady's Rise, we bring it all.
Right.
We bring it all.
We do bring it all. And not only just a specific car, but we're going to do as many as whatever.
All the trim levels. All the trim levels.
Including the base.
Yes, I will. I promise you guys, no matter how big we get with Rady's Rides, we will always do base trim models.
Yeah,
because listen, I understand that not everybody can just walk into a dealership and buy the top trim level.
Yeah.
And it sucks because so many times in dealership advertisement, they always show the top one, and they don't show the base one. And then when you show up and you're like,
and the seats are totally different.
It's got 15-inch wheels, and you're just like, what happened here? And they're like, well, hey, if you spend another 20 grand, you can have this.
Yeah,
so it's just like,
sure.
It's
I just
crazy.
have 20 grand sitting in my pocket.
And right now we're at 100 people watching, which is awesome.
People. I saw Jay Patel here.
Jay's awesome. Wayne, we got a lot of good people here.
Okay, so
what's your thoughts on the Bronco?
Well, I mean,
tell me your thoughts on the Bronco.
I haven't heard anything about the Bronco. I'm hoping.
Well, you had heard some stuff.
It's all rumors, and I'm hoping that it's going to be at LA. And that's one of the things that somebody asked. I don't know if you want to go there yet, but somebody asked about SEMA and if you're going to be there.
Should we, is that, oh, wait, but we want to talk about
We will talk about that in just a minute.
Let's get to, so.
Oh, wait, here's a question. What do you think of the 2020 WRX Limited? Eric wants to know.
Eric, it's the same exact car as a 2019, as a 2018. I think WRXs are a great bang for the buck. If that's what your budget fits and you want all-wheel drive and you want a manual transmission and you want to have that wonderful sensation of driving a car like that, why not? I mean, there's not many cars around $30,000 that gives you that wonderful driving experience. Brand new, of course. I'm not talking about used. Brand new for $30,000. There's not a lot of cars that give you that engagement that you get for a WRX. If you could swing the STI, I would say go for it.
But what's your opinion on waiting for the 2021?
Is that a real question? Or
no, I'm asking because inquiring. I know you guys are thinking that.
So
should they wait?
So I did post a review about that. Hopefully you got a chance to watch it. If you haven't, it's obviously on the channel. I got access to a 2020 STI World Rally Blue. I did the white one. I did this World Rally Blue one, and I posed that question. If it was me, and you have wanted an STI for a while, and you haven't had one, whoa, we got a super chat.
Thank
you, Arlondon. That's really nice of you.
So nice.
Thank you. Yes, I will definitely do a Maserati Ghibli.
Okay, when?
I need to get probably in the next week and a half. I will get back over.
Asking you shall receive.
Well, listen, if you're super chatting and you're asking, I'm gonna deliver. And if anybody else wants to super chat, feel free
especially if there's a specific car that you want to make sure that Joe reviews.
If there's a car you want me to review. Thank you, London, though.
Yes,
we really appreciate your support.
Much. Every little bit really adds
But back to what I was talking about. Should you wait or should you buy? I say, listen, if you want an STI and you've always wanted an STI, I would go on it, jump on it now.
Yeah.
Drive that one, enjoy it, and then switch over to the new version down the road. There's not even enough information. Everybody's talking about how the new one's going to be this better car. We don't know yet what it even entails. They're saying that it could have hybrid technology. They're saying that, yes, they're still going to have a manual, but they could still have there could be a DCT option. Too many unknowns. And I don't know if waiting will be worth it. Well, what are you laughing at?
Just the most random question ever. Do I wear Hanes socks?
Sometimes.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, you're not a Hanes person.
Really weird. Okay. So what somebody had asked, and I'm sorry I forgot your name, but the HPP.
Yes,
HPP. The Mustang HPP, EcoBoost HPP, HP. Do you really feel the additional 20 horsepower? Do you really feel it?
In the 10-speed automatic?
I don't know.
I'm just saying from my point. In the 10-speed automatic, I felt it. There's definitely, especially when you're right off the line. I mean, the car does 0 to 60 now in about 4.5, 4.4 seconds. That's pretty substantial compared to a regular EcoBoost. And you're right on the heels of a Mustang GT. Because a Mustang GT is about, with the 10-speed automatic, is about 4.1, 4.2, something like that. So you're right on the heels.
Sorry.
No problem. You're right on the heels of a Mustang GT. I think the car is made for somebody who wants something different, wants to have something special because it has its own chassis number and stuff, just like the Shelby GT500, just like the Bullet Mustang. I say the more the merrier. And you have to remember, guys, Chevy's already doing this in a way. They have the 1LE option. You could apply the 1LE option to any Camaro, whether it's the 4-cylinder turbo, the V6, the V8, and the ZL1.
Well, speaking of Camaro, we've had a couple people ask what your thoughts are about the Camaro being discontinued.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. It seems like, Chevrolet really screwed up with this last revision for 2019. Obviously, they're redoing it for 2020.
I think it made a lot of people mad.
It did.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they're using that as a ploy to get people excited for the car. I'm a firm believer that competition improves the breed, so I think it would be a shame for the Camaro to go away, especially with the growth of the Mustang and obviously the Challenger and all of its iterations. So I think that would be a shame, and I don't want to see it go away.
It's actually really disappointing. I frankly am a big fan of of the Camaro.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of history.
There's a lot of history.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For those of us that
I still miss the Firebird.
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't want to see it go. And I completely agree with you that the whole idea of healthy competition is really important.
Yeah.
So here's some other stuff.
Okay.
Somebody had asked, and I forgot to write your name down. Sorry about that. But how do you feel about a charger for a beginning driver?
Well, you know, I mean, if I was being the adult and like parent, I would probably say it's too much car.
Yeah.
I know my first car was a Pontiac Firebird with a V8, so I mean, and I survived.
But that had a little less horsepower than today's 2019 Charger.
Me being an old high school teacher and if I'm being mature Joe Rady, grown up Joe Rady, I would say go with a car that has a little less horsepower.
Like what?
I honestly think if I had a kid and they were going to buy a car and I did not want them to kill themselves, I would say probably like Honda Civic or Toyota Corolla. I mean, just to have something reliable that gets them to point A and point B. I would tell them to put some money away and get their dream car once they got a little bit more experience. Because I firmly believe, I'm telling you this right now, with teenagers, it's not a matter of if they're going to have an accident. It's a matter of when they're going to have an accident.
Well, that's true.
I mean, and I'm just being honest from teaching, from my own experience and all that kind of stuff. So
good point. Okay, here's another question for you. How hard is it to find a 2019 Hellcat?
I don't think it's too hard, to be honest. No, I don't. I think it really depends on the city. You know, we were talking about this about the S209. Yeah. It's funny because there's certain dealerships that they know they're getting an S209 and still nobody has a deposit down on one, and they're not charging sticker. I mean, they're not charging markup. They're only charging stickers. So I think if you look at certain Dodge dealerships, they do have them sitting on the lot because right now Dodge is doing some crazy deal where they give you discounts based off of how much horsepower the car has.
Interesting.
Yeah, so with a Hellcat Red Eye, you can save over $7,000.
Oh, well,
yeah, interesting.
Marketing.
Are we ready to talk about you?
Yes, you know, and a couple of other people have asked as well, again, about, you know, SEMA and things like that.
Okay,
so we do need
you want me
to
take
get
that?
to the point. Well, actually, because somebody did mention, you know, hey, what does Laurie drive? And a couple people have been asking me about that.
Well, let's talk about you.
Okay, that sounds great. I love to talk about me.
So Laurie came to me about a month ago or so.
It was probably about 2 months ago.
Yeah. And what'd you say?
Well, you know, I have a daily driver. And like most people, you know, as much fun as it is to drive a manual.
Whoa! Wait, Jaden just did $20. Thank you, Jaden. Remember, if you want your question or your statement to be heard, you can use the super chat. And you know,
there's 120 of you in the room here, so please super chat. Thank you, Jaden, so much.
And one thing I just want to say, I think we're gonna do this.
Yes.
Whoever super chats the most, I have a brand new Lego Speed Champion set. Since we're talking about the Dodge Challenger, of the Dodge Challenger old school and the new school one. So it's got a Demon and an old school Challenger from the past. So right now, Jaden, you are in the lead.
Jaden and R. London are the two super chatters that are in the lead right now. So take a look at this. Cool.
Brand new, obviously. I did not open it. Here's your little guys inside you get. There's the back. Kind of look, got the Christmas tree. The whole 9 yards. Christmas is coming, so.
Yeah, so whoever super chats the most.
Yeah, we want to just say thank you. I just want to say thank you. You know, we get so many people that super chat all the time.
I know.
And I just want to say thank you. And I know some people really want to support the channel, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know you appreciate that.
Just like Jaden and also our London. So thank you guys so much. It means a lot. So anyway, back to what am I thinking about buying? Alice wants to know. So I was wanting something a little bit more fun because I have a vehicle that I commute to work in.
Sure.
And some people had asked about the ST.
Because you did have a Focus ST.
I did have a Focus ST for a while, but guys, I drive to work every day in rush hour traffic.
It's miserable.
And it's miserable. Sometimes it's an hour and a half. Most of the time it's not, but sometimes it's an hour and a half, and it is just the worst thing ever to be, you know, in a manual transmission.
Well, especially with the Recaros in the ST. They're terrible.
It was just too much on my lower back. So I drive a Mazda 3, and it's a great daily driver.
She loves a Mazda 3.
But it's really not all that exciting on the weekends. So I was telling Joe that I
Get ready for this. Get ready for this, everybody, because it's going to shock the hell out of you.
A little more fun. And so remember earlier in the Q&A when I said that I had two favorite cars from the press fleet vehicles, and I like the Passport a lot. You know, did. When it comes to
we're getting a Passport?
No.
Oh.
My first favorite vehicle was actually a Toyota 86.
That was true. Yeah, that blue one.
The blue one. And I loved it.
You loved that Toyota 86.
It was like race car. Just screamed race car. Yeah. I love the sound. I love the way the seats felt. Yeah. I just love the way just putting it in first gear. And
you loved
step on that loud pedal. And I just love it.
I was sitting there in the passenger seat laughing my ass off.
And so I tell Joe, I say, I really want to have a fun car to maybe take to the track. I really want to try out autocrossing because I love the racing school that we went to in Utah.
Yeah, she did awesome at the Ford Performance Racing School.
And the good old-fashioned e-brake, doing a 360, sliding it sideways into a parking spot.
Yeah, that was badass.
It was just a lot of fun. So we start researching, and we're continuing to research.
Yes.
But I've made a decision.
We've narrowed it down, and we have some possibilities. And this is something, like Laurie is saying, is just going to be a weekend car for her.
Right. So I was kind of deciding between the 86, the FRS, and the BRZ.
But you were also thinking Civic Si.
I looked a little bit at the SI. I also considered the Mazda Miata. Those were the three vehicle types, because you kind of FRS, 86, BRZ are kind of like.
So what are you going with?
Well, after test driving and much consideration and a little bit of research, I really have focused in on a BRZ. I really want a BRZ.
Wow.
And so the reason is, especially because I love the 86, right? So you might be like, well, why? What's the difference?
You want a BRZ?
I want a BRZ.
I knew it. I knew she wanted a BRZ.
I want a BRZ.
She wants a BRZ. I know that some of you are probably like, but it doesn't have 500 horsepower and does 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, and you can get a C8 Corvette. No. Why do you want a BRZ?
Because I want to be able to get on it. I want to be able to get on it, and I want to feel the power under the pedal. I want to feel the power under my hands, and I just want to floor it.
But you like the way that you like having the lower horsepower because you felt more confident driving it. You don't have to worry about spinning out, doing a burnout.
No, I don't have to hold back a little bit. Yeah. I don't want to hold back.
Plus, you like that. I think you were reminded of your old Celica.
Oh, yeah.
You felt it felt raw and it felt engaged.
Yes. I feel super engaged because I used to have, that was one of my first cars ever was my Toyota Celica. Man, I love that car. I felt so
And I feel the same way about the BRZ. I love driving the 86. It was such a raw feeling. Yeah, it's slow off the line. Yeah, you're not going to win a drag race, but I'm telling you, when you're driving around, especially when the road gets twisty, you feel so.
That was what did it for me.
And it feels like a 1990s car.
It does.
But it has some niceties
that
are better than 1990s.
I want to go pre-owned, because
we're not
budget.
We're not going out and buying a brand new BRZ for her to go do track days. That's for sure.
But I want a weekend car to go do track days and go do autocrossing and stuff like that. So I'm on the look for it. I'm really hoping that I can find something that has an extended warranty. Yeah. But that would be a private seller.
Sure.
So I'm picky, so I'll keep you guys posted on what I find.
That's why you married me.
Yeah, well, that's right.
That's right. Yeah. Everybody's going to throw up now and leave the chat.
See, man, I considered the GTI. I really did. A little outside of my budget.
Well, and the thing that you like about the BRZ and the 86 and all that is that naturally aspirated, just simplicity. Yeah. You open up the hood, and it's just engine and transmission.
Yep.
You don't have to worry about intercooler or turbo or any of that other stuff.
That's right. Well, that's something that I really was looking for. Something a little bit easier when it comes to complexity. Sure. It's not something that has all this horsepower that I can, drag race somebody and win. It's just it's about the feeling. Yeah. That's what it's all about, and that's why I really
we started the search, and it's hard. A lot of people are always like, "Well, just go get a used one." Every one that we found either was modified or just ratted on. It's just ratted out. Like, so it's, never had any TLC whatsoever.
Yeah. So we're going to be, we're pretty picky here. I mean, I've got Mr. Joe Rady picky. Looking for me too. So I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. Somebody else mentioned like the Veloster N or the
Veloster N. Yeah, you're 100% correct. Those are great cars too. The thing is that we want to go pre-owned. We want to go used, and there's not a lot of used Veloster Ns. Plus, she really likes the rear-wheel drive. That's another thing you got to remember is that BRZ's rear-wheel drive. So when you're going into a turn and you tip it in and you roll on throttle and you just get a little hint from the back, it allows you to square the corner off, whereas on a front-wheel drive car, you got to drive them differently. Mm-hmm. It's just a different animal.
That's right. That's right. We have a couple other things.
I love this person here. Brendan's like, and we get excited for 7.80 to 60.
Yeah. All right.
I don't care.
So again, some of the other folks have been asking about SEMA and what's going on. So bring us up to speed there.
Let me tell you how really you got to believe sometimes. You just got to believe that things are going to work out for you. And that's something that I'm learning with the channel is that, you know, when we started the channel just for fun and things were good. And then, you know, my school closed down. I was like, oh, geez, this is terrible. And then the channel started picking up. Well, we only had enough cash travel expense wise to either go to the LA Auto Show, which is next month, or SEMA, which is also next month. It's at the beginning of next month. In the end, I was hemming and hollering with Laurie. We spun the bottle. We flipped the coin. You know, we stood on our heads for a while until we were like, let's do the LA Auto Show. It's going to be more beneficial for the channel. People have really liked what we did at the New York Auto Show and the Detroit Auto Show. So we wound up saying, okay, we're not going to do SEMA this year. Lo and behold, opportunity came out of nowhere. We are going to SEMA. So Honda has graciously invited us, Rady's Rides, to not only be at SEMA with them, but also to do a media day of the actual Honda Civic Si press fleet vehicle. So they're going to have a bunch of Civic SIs out in Nevada, and we're going to be able to drive them, get a little bit more in depth. Even though I already did the SI review, this is going to be even better because we're going to be on some real roads, let the car handle and perform like it's supposed to, and then we're going to be able to attend SEMA as guests of Honda. So we will be at SEMA. There's going to be a lot of stuff. For me, it's going to be probably sensory overload because what experts say is that you literally have to be there for a year.
Yeah.
What am I saying? A year?
An entire
year. No, a week. You really need to stay a week or a year. I mean,
you would stay there for a year.
I could stay there for a year. That's the funny thing is I could stay there for a year, but you got to be there for a week to really get to see everything. We're only going to have access for about a day, so we're going to try to hit up as much as we can. That's important to what you guys want.
Yeah. Well, we're working on, our Patreon account because a lot of you have been asking about Patreon. We've been telling you that it's coming, and that's one of the things that we're really hoping to do is make some connections so that we can have some really great opportunities for you guys who become patrons on Patreon.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for that, and we're gonna have awesome opportunities and ways to actually help you get certain products that you want at certain discounts.
Yeah, well, and that's just
like Tire Rack, Meguiar's, Adams Polishes.
And you don't have to go searching all over the internet for it. You can just come to Rady's Rides Patreon page and get whatever you need. So we're working on that.
So we are. So SEMA's a go. We're going to be there. Then we got the LA Auto Show coming up. Now, one thing to be aware of the LA Auto Show, we are going to do our first meet and greet that's outside of Florida. So if you live in the LA area, on November 20th, which is a Wednesday, we're actually going to pick a location.
The Block.
It's called The Block.
And it's a really awesome indoor mall. That's really close to the convention center in downtown LA. It's really close to the highway, the subway, and there's parking underneath, so you don't have to search around for parking. But we're going to be at The Block on Wednesday, November 20th. If you're in the Los Angeles area.
If you're a Rady's Rides family member and you want to come out and hang with us a little bit, we're going to be out in LA at The Block November 30th, 20th. And remember, we will post more about it as we get closer. And of course, we're going to be bringing to you a lot of the action from the LA Auto Show. If there's anything in particular that you want, definitely let me know, and we will make sure to film that. Still a lot of unknowns. I know that the new LC500 convertible will be unveiled there. I know that Ford is going to have that Mach-E car based off of a Mustang. Yeah, electric Mustang.
Well, that'll be interesting.
I'm hoping that they have a Bronco of some sort. Please, Ford. Mazda's going to have the CX-30. Nissan's going to have the new Sentra. BMW is going to have an M2 CS to unveil there. So lots of exciting things that we will.
Food truck reviews.
Yeah, food truck. Yes,
we
love food truck. Yes.
While he's inside.
And just so you know, she is a hell of a hard worker. When we were at the LA Auto Show, we filmed
the New York Auto
Show. When we were at the New York Auto Show, we filmed, 32 cars?
Well, yeah, because I don't know if you guys remember us saying this, but we had some interference with the microphone. And so we had filmed like 15 cars, and then we got home.
Yeah, and it was all
we realized that all
we got to the hotel.
Yeah, when we got back to the hotel, we realized that almost all of it.
So we had to refilm it. We have better equipment now.
We did almost double the amount of cars in one day.
For sure.
It was crazy.
So
it was like a machine. We were like, okay, on to the next one.
It was
Stop to shovel in a power bar. go to the next car.
Yeah, you did an awesome job. It was really intense. But that's the thing is you know, you got to get it when the getting's good.
Well, you have to, and they only give you a little window of time. Now, the LA Auto Show, they give us a little bit more time, but this is our first time going.
It is.
So we're definitely gonna keep you guys posted on Instagram. So if you aren't following us on Instagram, please do, because that's
Anthony.
Where you're really gonna see most of the updates.
Yeah.
Is Instagram, and then of course on Facebook and on the community page here on YouTube. But a lot of the stuff is on Instagram.
And another thing that's coming up besides the LA Auto Show, it's actually. So we get back into town on Saturday of that week. Sunday,
yes,
which is what day? So Wednesday's the 20th, Thursday 21st, 22nd,
23rd.
We get back on the 23rd.
Ooh, I'll go look at the
calendar. Look. So while she's looking at the calendar, the reason why I'm bringing this up, make sure you look at November. The 23rd. Is that a Saturday or Sunday?
It's a Saturday.
So on Sunday the 24th?
No, on Saturday the 23rd in Lakeland.
Benji, you're thanks, Benji.
You're so
thanks for the
sweet.
super chat, dude. Hey, Laurie, why don't you get a super?
Yeah, are you buying the super?
Sure, yeah.
Benji? That sounds great. I'll take it.
It's going to be a lot cheaper to get a used BRZ, Benji. I promise you. We're not.
If I get a super, Benji, we'll go.
We're big, but we're not that big.
When I win the lottery.
Yeah. But anyways, so the 23rd, November 23rd, if you're in the Florida area of Lakeland, the first ever Subi Fest is going on in Lakeland.
Finally.
We're going to be there. So hopefully if any of you are in that area and you are going to Subi Fest, make sure you keep an eye out for us, because we're going to be walking around and we're making special just for that event, Rady's Rides Subi Fest,
bumper stickers
and stuff.
I just made them. They look really
cool.
She
did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Amazing job.
Yeah, they look great.
But so we got Subi Fest coming up. We got the LA Auto Show. November is going to be really busy for us because we got SEMA, LA Auto Show, and Subi Fest, and Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And Thanksgiving. So yeah, it's I know.
It's a lot.
But then we got December.
It's exciting because as soon as we get back from the LA Auto Show, we get back on Friday night from Los Angeles, and you guys know that's a long flight.
Yeah, that's a long flight.
And then we're going to run around and drive to Lakeland to go to Subi Fest, which I'm really excited about because I have never been. So
I haven't been either.
Well, that's true because it's the first one.
Yes. So far, Jaden is definitely was in the.
Jaden has won.
Well,
so Jaden, will you please?
We need
go to radiesrides.com.
Unless somebody else super chats more than 20.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Benji doesn't even know. I mean, so some of you guys that came in a little later.
It's actually kind of cool.
We're giving away this, whoever super chats the most, this really awesome Lego set.
You got the so it's got the 2018 Demon and a 70 Dodge Charger RT. So and a whole drag race scene.
Yeah, and so we have, actually it was, let's see, we've got
Should I keep this for myself? I didn't even really look at it.
Well, Jaden McCoon, if you could please message us, because you are going to get a special Rady's Rides.
Plus, we'll send you swag and everything else.
So Jaden McCoon. And so the easiest way to get in touch with us, Jaden, if you would just go to radiesrides.com, there's a contact page there. If you could just reach out, it's all secure. You can give us your information there so that we can reach back out to you and get you some Rady's Ride stuff.
We should have a car review Laurie edition.
Yes.
Well, Laurie, believe it or not, I know a lot of people are newer to the channel. Laurie did do a review of the Dodge Raptor.
Yes,
I say Dodge Raptor.
The Dodge Raptor.
I'm thinking of this. This is a Dodge Ford Raptor.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah. That was my favorite. I don't know if you guys saw that one, but that was the one where I actually did the intro.
Sure, yes, you did.
It was so much fun.
Yes, you did.
It was a blast. I was trying to totally be Joe. And
the plan is that going into 2020, we're hoping that Laurie's going to be able to scrape some time together. Remember, she's working a full-time job, and not like I'm just sitting around, but.
Well, I mean, you have boy, does he work hard. He is filming all the time, nonstop. Yeah. I mean, when you're doing something like this, there's never a dull moment.
It really isn't. Well, if you're doing it right. I mean, there are probably some people that just put up a video and they never hear from them.
And La Pamela wants to know, review the BRZ. I'm totally going to. Planning on it.
Driving and everything. And
I know it's not for everybody, but for, it's just kind of like,
well, that's what's so great. If we all drove around in C8 Corvettes, the world would be a boring place.
It would be really boring.
I'd be bored. What the hell would I review? I review a C8 Corvette every day.
You would be sad. You'd probably
I would be
depressed all the time.
I mean, I like the C8 Corvette. Don't get me wrong, but it's interesting how people have been commenting and saying, like, I'll post a video of let's just say for argument's sake, I don't know, the Infiniti Q60.
Okay.
And somebody's like, I'll just get a C8 Corvette. Nobody is going to really cross shop an Infiniti Q60.
Benny! Benji.
Thank you, Benji.
Thank you,
Benji. Yes. We are getting that together, yes.
A car owned by a woman. Well, that sounds like a great idea. Because I'm a woman and I own some cars.
You're a wonderful woman.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and
here's can I
yes,
please. Say something? Please. This will probably get them all riled up. If you guys were gonna choose for me, like if I was gonna get a car next year, should I get a GT350?
Oh.
A C8 Corvette or an S209?
Yeah.
Watch that blow up.
To hear what you guys have to say about that.
I'm curious how many people would just say C8 Corvette. GT350 and hurry up. Yes.
Hurry up. Yeah,
definitely.
Right. Okay, so
GT350. Wow, a lot of GT350s. I'm actually impressed.
GT350R.
Yeah.
S209. 350, 350, 350, C8,
wow.
350, S209, S209.
I'm surprised not more people are saying the C8.
350, 350.
Benji, GT500 is not part of it. I don't want a GT500. This I keep
Supra.
saying this.
No,
a Supra. I don't want a Supra.
None of these gonna Supra.
Supras are great. They're great. I don't know. It's just it goes that same thing. Like, would I want to open up my garage and just have the pedals?
Now he needs a manual transmission, guys. He would be sad without a manual transmission.
I am.
Yeah.
I would be.
Yeah. So far, I think it's mostly GT350. Everybody's saying.
I think
Chase thinks you should get a Geo Metro. I'm not sure if they still make them.
They don't make them anymore. But for a while they actually went up in value when we were having that gas crisis.
They did.
Here's what I should probably have everybody do. I should give out Tracy at Walker Ford's personal cell phone number and have them all call her saying that I should be given a GT350 by Walker Ford.
Yes, for marketing purposes. Oh my gosh, she would kill you. Absolutely kill you.
But listen, this has been such a great time. We had well over 100 people.
Oh my gosh, I was
well over 100 people on here. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But
so thanks you guys for tuning in. We've got so much coming.
Yes.
And we really love hearing from you and anything else that you're interested in doing. And here's the other question that I have for you before we go. I want to know from you guys if you like these Q&As and how frequently you wish they were. Also, what time is better for you? What day is did
Saturday work better for you than Thursday night? I don't know.
We're playing around with the times.
Get a Ford Pinto.
And
I love that
we want to
one,
know what you guys think. So before we go, if you could just send that over in the chat messages because I want to.
And Jaden was definitely the one that got
Jaden won. Yeah. Jaden, please reach out to us.
Thank you for that super chat. We appreciate it.
It's really the only way we can reach out to you because we can't contact you through the chat. So if you could contact us through radiesrides.com, it's all secure. Let us know. So weekends kind of dies. Yeah, I hear you, Charlie. I'm kind of thinking that too. Is that the weekends YouTube's a little bit harder. Every day at 3 a.m. You know what?
That sounds awesome.
That sounds awesome. Maybe if it's 3 a.m. in a different part of the world.
Oh, Benji, will you stop?
Benji, oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I will.
She will.
I will actually miss it because I'll be sleeping.
That's right. You guys won't see Laurie much anymore. It'll be just myself.
Every day at 2. Okay, Sundays and Saturdays. Okay, so this person's saying Saturday is good. Weeknights are busy. It may be one of the.
Whoa, Jaden! You're awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you to super chat that.
That really means a lot. We really appreciate it.
And like I told you guys, it's because of you and people doing the super chats and everything else, watching the ads. Thank you for watching the ads because we've had some people complaining. I've actually had people, and I don't know if it's normal Radies Rides people, but they're saying, why do you put ads in the videos? Guys, that's what allows us. Well, that's what allows us to keep making the content.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to make the content without the ads.
Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the ads because that's going to allow us to go see more things, come see you. I want to go. My goal, I'm telling you right now, my goal is to visit more states to get groups of Radies Rides family members, their cars together, and review their cars.
Yeah,
that to me would be awesome.
That's the plan. That's what we're trying to work
because, like, for me, the cars are great, but it's meeting you guys in person that makes it even more special. And I'm able to do that very easily, obviously,
And we want to come up to New England so bad. We want to get there. And we're
especially because we're Subaru people.
Yeah.
And I want to go to Vermont Sports Car. I want to go to a rally. I want to go to.
Yes, we're going to the New York Auto Show.
Yes.
We're going to do a meetup there. So that would be.
Yeah. Next year, it's already a done deal. We're doing Chicago. So if you're in the Chicago area in February, I know it's going to be snowy, but we'll make a snowman together. We'll make a Rady's Ride snowman.
Great.
And we'll have a meetup. That would be weird, but we'll meet up in Chicago somewhere. We're definitely going to meet up. We're going to be at the New York Auto Show. We're going to be at Detroit in June.
So yes, we are going to be at Detroit in June. I wanted to share something with you guys that are still here. Does skipping it count as watching? I'm tired of Ram ads. Trust me. I know some of the ads get boring. If you can watch 10 seconds of a video, it makes a difference.
The more you can watch, the better. Yeah. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
And ideally 30 seconds for the longer one.
And please don't take it as I'm like begging or you guys do what you feel you need to do in the end. But I'm just saying that allows us to go get the content.
Well, and a lot of people don't know.
Matthew.
Oh, Matthew.
Which car that you reviewed has the least amount and most amount of zonks? Also, best car to fit my now and laters in the center console. Great content all around. You guys are doing great. So
now and laters.
Now and laters, yes. I would probably say the car that has the least and the most. Well, obviously, least is probably going to be a
least
GT.
Amount of zones.
Probably going to be GT350.
Yeah, I would say that probably.
I mean, but there's been others. I mean, the new Porsche 911. I think I only did like 1 or 2 zonks.
Okay.
You
didn't zonk the Mazda CX-5 that much, did you? When it comes to like
no, not yet.
SUVs?
Like normal, like an SUV. The CX-5 was good. The new Outback.
The new Outback.
The new Outback is very few. Now ones that have had a ton of zonks are going to be probably like the Nissan Altima. I
think the Honda Accord has very few zonks.
Oh yeah.
Very few zonks.
Yeah,
but the Altima has a lot of zonks.
The Altima has a lot of zonks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Altima. I really think
the Nissan 370, the Z.
You know, for me, I kind of overlook half the stuff in it because I like driving the car. It's a fun car to drive.
Yeah.
You know, I think, but for some people, they would zonk the hell out of it. I mean,
I do know there were a couple of trucks that you zonked quite a bit. Wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I know with some things with like the Chevy Colorado, I'm not really.
There's a few zonks.
There was a few zonks there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's one of those things that.
Yes, we do. We have to consult our official zonk chart.
Yes. It's hard because I know a lot of you asked me to do like a chart meter, like a zonk meter or something like that. It's hard because all this stuff is unscripted and I'm just talking. So by the end of the video, it's like. It's done.
Yeah.
You know, it's
okay. And so he had another part to that.
What's another part?
Question. Let's see.
Best center console.
Best car to fit his now and laters in the center console. Now, if you recall, and like a now and laters, it's going to be like a square package about that size.
This is true. This is true.
What's the best car to fit a package of now and laters?
I would probably say Kia Telluride.
Oh yeah.
Kia Telluride.
A lot of
Kia Telluride. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of room. Where Palisade.
The Palisade. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You could get some now and laters in there.
I know what I need to start doing is I need to start bringing some of these foods.
You do.
And like putting them in the car. Maybe we should
reach out to some of these companies.
I could be sponsored by Hostess. Here we are.
Well, I don't want to get sponsorship by Hostess.
I don't want to eat them.
Well, Hostess doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, they don't? I thought they came back.
I don't know. Maybe somebody out there knows.
I saw Twinkies.
Yeah. I think somebody bought the Twinkies brand.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a story.
But let me just go back one more time. And thank you, Matthew, for your questions and for your super chat. We appreciate everything that you guys do for the channel, especially when it comes to watching the ads. And I promise that you'll never see a video where it's like 15 ads. Okay?
No. We have a limit on everything because we watch YouTube as well. We want to make sure that it's something that we would watch. You know, we would never.
I don't want to piss you off.
Yeah. But I appreciate you bringing it up because, frankly, before all this, before we started, we became a YouTube content creator. I didn't know
how the ads work.
So you don't know how someone gets paid. I go to work all the time, and my coworkers are like, "Wait, how does Joe make money?" I don't really understand how that works, and it's through you guys watching the ads. So it really makes a difference. And thanks for doing that.
Yeah. Wait, Tyler says that he's trying to do a super chat.
Oh,
we appreciate you trying, Tyler.
Yes, thank you for your efforts on trying to do a super chat.
Let me ask you this: do you think you see a GT350 in my future?
Well, you guys know I do yoga. So that means I have telepathic
yes.
power. At least that's what my coworkers tell me. So I'm just going with it because I want them to think I can read their minds. So then they don't talk about me and stuff. So let me use my yoga telepathic powers.
Is there a GT350 coming? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Science, we need the magic 8 ball.
That, I used to have one when I taught.
I mean, science.
You know what I used to do when with my classes? If I didn't have homework scheduled, but then I was sort of like on the fence if I was going to give them homework, I literally would grab the magic 8 ball off my desk and ask it, and I would do whatever it said.
Well, you have to.
If it said no, then they wouldn't get homework. If they did, then I would give them extra homework.
Yes. I'm kind of thinking that the magic 8 ball
Wayne says yes.
Says yes. I don't know.
We need to talk to Tracy and Weston and Frank Walker.
Yeah, we might have to. We might have to see about that.
I don't know. I need to get hooked up or something.
All I know is I'm going to need a bigger garage, so I'm going to need a construction license so that I can figure out how to build a garage with my 2 bare hands.
You act like we have a fleet of vehicles.
Well, we're going to have to sell the house and just live in the garage.
I say just let's demo one of the rooms and turn that into a garage.
Yeah. Joe says to me the other day, the neighbor's house is for sale. Maybe we could buy it and turn it into a garage. I'm like, I don't think that's really economical.
Thank you, Jaden, again for your super chat. That's really awesome.
Really appreciate that.
You guys
really appreciate your support.
And I'm hoping that if you are in LA area, I'm hoping that you could come out November 20th, which is a Wednesday, to the block. And hang out with us.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to meet you guys in person. I feel like I know so many of you from responding to comments all the time.
Same here. We want to start doing more of this stuff. That's really where we see the vision of Rady's Rides going, is that we're going to be able to travel more to see you guys face to face. Yes.
So we're going to St. Louis for Thanksgiving.
Yes, we are.
Are we able to do a meet and greet there?
I wish, but we're only going to be there for 3 days. So, and one of those days is Thanksgiving. So maybe not this time around, but definitely in the near future that's coming, because I know you're going to have a lot of Midwest fans.
Or maybe we just invite them all out to your sister's
you guys just want to come to my family's house for Thanksgiving? Great.
That would be awesome.
My mom and my sister would be really, really happy with me about that.
Here, dude. I don't know if a lot of people ask us if we have kids. Here's our kid, our furry son, Dillinger. That's him. He's going off to college soon, so that's another reason why.
Yes. He's like, what the hell?
We're gonna have empty nest syndrome. He's a really good boy, and of course he loves cars.
Yes. Oh yeah, he loves riding in the car.
That's right.
I'm trying to teach him to stick his head out the window though, but he's a little small.
It's gotta be it's a little small window.
Yeah, it's a little tiny window.
But hopefully you guys enjoyed the Q&A.
CRV hybrid, is that coming up, a review?
Yes. So if you guys were paying attention to the interwebs, Honda unveiled an updated CRV, refreshed CRV with an actual hybrid version. So I'm sure those will be at the LA Auto Show.
Yep.
And then, of course, going into next year, we will have access to those. That's one of Honda and Acura are so awesome. Thank you, everybody at Honda and Acura are so awesome by allowing Rady's Rides access to their press fleet vehicles. Davis and Chris and the rest of the crew. They're really awesome.
I mean, if that's one of the reasons why you're seeing quite a bit of Hondas, because they've reached out to us and are, giving us some opportunities that we haven't.
Not all the manufacturers have been like that.
We know that they will, because come on, it's Rady's Rides, but everything takes time. So thank you guys for supporting us while we continue to build up and get connected with people and get more access.
And that's the thing is a lot of people when they meet us, especially people in the industry, they're like, oh, how long you been doing this? And when we say it hasn't even been 2 years, they're just like,
well, in the first year that we were just kicking the tires on this thing. We were just like, oh, this is fun, little side hustle, and just a little creative outlet. And then suddenly we're like, wait a second.
Exactly.
There's something here, and this is just a whole lot of fun to meet you guys. It's just a blast. It really is.
And we're just so glad that you guys are enjoying it as well. And I get so many wonderful emails and messages from people. Thank you, Benji.
Thanks, Benji. You're so sweet.
Yeah, so I'll answer your question in a second, Benji. But it's so great to get the messages about how you really like how we're sharing the passion with you. So many people are like, hey, I wasn't even into cars, and now I'm coming back to watch.
Yep.
I think one of my favorite comments is when people are like, hey, I didn't even care about the car that you were reviewing, but I wanted to see what you were going to say about it.
Yeah. Oh, I love it when, some of my coworkers say, I was only into this particular make and I've only bought these models. And then I watched your husband's review and I was so interested to learn a little bit more about some of the other cars that it's just opened my eyes to cars I didn't even know about.
Thank you, Jamie, thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate it. Benji has a question. What do I think about electric F-150? I don't know, man.
Is that in the works?
It's in the works.
Okay.
It's already, they've already tested it and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like if you're on a work site and say there isn't any like power supply.
That's a good point.
I guess, they
would have to get those.
I don't know. I'm not really into the EVs yet. I'm really not. I drove the Tesla Model X. It was cool. It threw me back in the seat. Do I want to own one? No.
No, but I know you're really interested in the different hybrids.
Yes, I am. I'm curious, and I know that's where the future's going. So there's no denying it. But definitely, I think Ford, if they could come to market first with an electric pickup truck, that may be a home run.
I'm sure it would be.
Ford F-150 is the #1 selling truck in the United States. I mean,
I'm sure it would be.
I mean, that's bottom line.
Yeah, I really like the whole hybrid idea because I feel like, to your point. I mean, we live here in Florida. You guys have probably had similar situations, but 2 years ago when there was the hurricane and everybody was trying to leave, people who had Teslas ran out of battery on the highway and got stranded. And so that's not cool, and so there needs to be something that allows you to have a little bit more of both. And that's what I feel like, would be the right way to go.
Or like faster charging stations or, I don't know.
The technology, what's great is it's all changing.
I still want an engine. I mean, just like Scott says, you'd rather have a naturally aspirated Coyote over a Tesla any day.
Scott, you guys are brothers. So
and then there's just funny stuff happening, like the Porsche Taycan. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the Taycan or Taycan, however you want to pronounce it, tomato. They literally have a turbo and a Turbo S version of an electric vehicle.
Which that really makes me mad. It makes me mad. How can you have a turbo on something that doesn't have a turbo?
Thank you, Jamie, again.
That's false advertising.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, but I'm done. Because just so you know, the reason why there's a turbo and a Turbo S Taycan is for branding. Because there is no turbo on the car. Porsche uses turbo already and has an S version and all that. So
it's not right. It's not right.
Well, and I had a lot of people get shocked when I told them, "Whoa, Fred, thank you.
Fred.
Thank you, Fred. We appreciate it. We appreciate your super chat. Thank you for doing that. We can't do it without you guys.
We can't. We really can't. You guys are the
best. And I guess because people are super chatting, we're going to keep on rolling here. We'll roll a little bit longer. Right now, it's funny. We always do these live Q&As, and I'm always like, it's probably going to be like 40 minutes, an hour. We're now at an hour and 12 minutes, and we still have 106 people watching. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. And definitely thank you for all that have done a super chat. We really appreciate it. And Jaden right now is taking home a Dodge Demon. There you go. Rainey's Rise is doing a giveaway of a Dodge
Demon right here on Rainey's Rise. Can't actually drive it anymore.
Yeah. But you get to build it.
But you do get to build it by yourself.
But a lot of people were shocked when they heard that a Hemi, like if you buy a Challenger and it says Hemi on the side, it's not a real Hemi.
Well, see, that bothers me too.
That's branding. They don't use hemispherical heads. So how's it a Hemi?
I don't know.
Oh, thank you, Brian.
Hey, Brian,
we appreciate it. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Fred. You guys really, really appreciate the support. Thank you.
What show? Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Next year, what show are you most excited about?
What do you mean
auto
car show?
Yeah.
Well, I just there's something about the New York Auto Show. It's a little bit on a different level than the other shows.
It's like so pageantry.
But you know what? I'm really interested because we went to the last Detroit Auto Show in January.
That was fun.
And stepped into a big bank of snow.
Yeah, our Uber driver dropped us off
we did an Airbnb. It's the last Airbnb I'm doing.
Don't do Airbnb.
I'm sorry. I know some of you are going to be like, oh, I love Airbnb. And that's great. But it was horrible. It was like we were camping in January.
No, it was like we were in a house that was made out of Swiss cheese.
It was horrible.
There were more holes in that than Swiss cheese.
It was terrible. It was absolutely horrible.
It was freezing. We probably sound like two big babies.
We are big babies because we live in Florida. It's really hard to go to Detroit. Anyway, So it's going to be really interesting to see now that the Detroit Auto Show has been moved from January to June.
Yes.
Because that's where a lot of the unveils were happening, was at the Detroit Auto Show.
Oh, that's where the GT500?
That's where we saw it the first time around. I mean, so I'm curious.
Here's another question, everybody. If I was somehow able to squeeze enough pennies together and get a GT350, what color should I get? Because at first I was so hell-bent on white with blue racing stripes that now I'm starting to change my mind.
Well, why are you changing your mind?
Well, because I'm sure many of you saw it, and if you haven't, click on it after the live Q&A session. That GT350R that I did in iconic silver with the black racing stripes was pretty damn sexy.
Yeah.
Iconic silver, it's a new color for 2020. I'm wondering if I should get that, if I was to get a GT350.
Oh, Mike D, I will message you. Thank you for that.
Who's Mike D?
Mike D was like, hey, if you all ever need a hotel, he works for Marriott.
Oh,
so much,
awesome.
Mike.
Thank you, Mike. And that's another thing is people are like coming forward. Like we now know people that work at the convention center doing security and stuff for the Detroit Auto Show. Thank you, Benji.
It's really actually, it should be a reality show. It's
I know.
Florida people heading up north. And
definitely.
And he teases me because I grew up in the Midwest. I don't
know
if the Midwest folks are here. There were a few Midwesterners there in the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's different when you have Florida skin.
Are you two married? Are we married?
Who are you? Why are you in my
I
house?
hope so because I'm wearing this ring. Yes, we are married.
Our child earlier.
Yeah. Married with child.
Married with children.
So
with child.
Yes, we're definitely married.
Yes, we are married. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, usually when I'm referring to my beautiful wife, it's you.
It's usually me.
Yeah, it's usually you.
Yes, thank goodness. Although the other day, you guys, so Joe just got a new cell phone, and I called him from work by my work line, and he didn't answer, and so I didn't leave a voicemail.
I was at the gym too.
And so then I get a call back. I get a call back, and it's like, someone called me from this number. Who is this? I'm like, it's your wife. Okay. And he's like, my wife? I'm like, yes, your wife.
I was at the gym. It was noisy. And it was a number that it didn't say anything. So I didn't know. Why did you leave me a message?
Well, because I figured you would recognize the number.
Oh,
I only called you from that number like a million times. Anyway.
So we had some people say about GT350, race red. Somebody said no green or orange.
No.
I think orange is like people have killed this. Every time I see a GT350, a lot of times it's orange now. That seems to be a very popular. Yeah,
I see Mustangs in orange.
Yeah.
I don't see GT350s.
No, well, we don't see that many GT350s, but
That's true.
When we do.
Yeah.
What else
the orange is nice. I think the orange looks really nice.
It looks good. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. I don't want an orange. I want silver. Here's what I was thinking. If not white, then either Ford Performance blue or that iconic silver.
I like
or silver. Even Kona blue. Kona blue is a classic color.
So if you were to get an S209, what color would you get?
White, probably, because I would want the gold wheels.
Yeah.
And I, white.
The white
shows
the
the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
I like the silver. I think the silver is great. Somebody asked, MoFlo asked, are you originally from Florida or somewhere else?
No, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. So I was born in Brooklyn. I lived up there until I was about 8, and then moved down to Florida. My family, my mom and dad thought, hey, we don't want to raise somebody up here. We want to move somewhere else. So they moved down to Florida, and I've been.
And your dad, because your dad had a mechanic shop in Florida.
Up in Brooklyn.
And then he also
had a mechanic shop down here. Yeah. And that really is where the shop down here in Florida is where I really got my taste of being in a car. I mean, being around cars. Like I was just telling an old friend the other day, I remember like my dad showed me how to lube a chassis.
Really?
Yeah. Back with older cars, all of the different, when you look at the control arms and everything, you'd have to lube each of the sections. So you had your lube gun, and then when you'd pump it, you'd have to make sure that you didn't pump too much because then it would just go everywhere.
Ooh.
So you go like 2 or 3 pumps.
Well, and then when you had your Corvette when you were 17, didn't you say that because you had to take apart the engine?
Are we talking about that?
Yeah, we're talking about
that. I never told anybody this story. So Benji.
You're so sweet.
You're hilarious.
Get any color and wrap it.
I'm not wrapping a GT350. That's not going to happen.
What's the original GT350 colors? In the blue with white racing stripe? White with blue?
Well, I guess what he's referring to is that They don't have like the actual
original color.
Yeah, the
like
shades.
The actual color. Yeah.
But here's a fun story if you want to hear one. So many of you are aware when I was 17 years old, I bought a Corvette. I bought a 1985 Corvette. Did a lot of
things. And you did a vlog on that, by the way.
I did do a vlog, which is there on the channel. Go down to the car vlog section.
It's right there.
Right, that playlist. But when I was 17 years old, I bought a 1985 Corvette and bought it all myself, just so you know. But if you want to hear the rest of that story, you got to watch the video. But when I was 18, I wound up at the drag strip. I spun a bearing. So yeah, I spun a bearing
at the drag strip.
At the drag strip. Well, I also did stuff on the street as well, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, we shouldn't.
Thank God for no social media back in the 1990s.
That'll be in your tell-all biography.
That's right. Yes, the book coming soon to an Amazon near you. But anyways, I spun a bearing, and my dad and myself and a couple of my buddies, we stripped that engine down all the way to the bare block.
Did you?
Yes, all the way to the bare block. So, but
and so didn't you tell me that a lot of the neighbors were saying that you guys didn't you get the police called on you because the neighbors were saying that you were running a shop out of your garage?
Yeah, my neighbors, the neighborhood was kind of, there were some older people that were kind of bothered by V8 noises and stuff like that at all hours of the day and night. They called the police because they thought we were running a mechanic shop. Because my friends, they called my house Snap-on Central because every tool that my dad had at the shop, he also had an exact version of it at the house too. Because as many of you are aware that work on your own cars, you need the right tool for the right job. It makes the job so much easier.
Yeah.
So my friends called my house Snap-on Central.
Wow.
So they would bring their cars over, and we would do things like drive shafts or exhausts or something like that. Headers. I remember my friend Chris with his Fox body Mustang. We put headers, put long tube headers on it, and some nitrous. Yeah.
He's told me some funny stories about some of the stuff. We'll have to do another Q&A just on that. Like, how much trouble did Joe Rady get into?
Well, it's funny because my friend Chris, his mom was a single mom, and she was a real estate agent, and she had a Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4, a 1994 3000 GT. And we would tell his mom that we were going out to the movies, and she would let us take the car.
What if she's watching this right now?
Thank you for being part of the Raise Rice family, Mrs. Hart. Thank you. But so there was one night in particular. I told you this story the other night. There was one night in particular. We were out. We were going to the street races out on Gandy, and we noticed that the back of the 3000 GT seemed a little low, and it didn't feel as fast as it normally did. So we pulled over at a gas station, and we opened up the back hatch because those have a hatch trunk area, and his mom had like 5 bags of mulch in the back of the 3000 GT. So we couldn't go street racing with all that weight in the car. So what we did was we actually hid the mulch behind a dumpster at the gas station in the middle of Tampa and went street racing. And then we went back and got the mulch and put it back in the car. So there we go.
God. Oh my goodness.
Yes, Wayne, she's definitely probably a subscriber. I know Chris is a subscriber, and he's a great guy. He lives down in Miami now. He got rid of his Fox body Mustang a long time ago, but definitely miss it. It was one of the notchback ones. It was all white with the pony 5-star wheels. It was a cool car. It was funny. Since we're talking about Chris, we might as well just keep going. So he wanted to join the Air Force. He did join the Air Force after high school.
They actually put the mulch back in the car.
Yes. Oh, the mulch.
Oh, but when they put the trash out, when they were putting the trash out.
No, we had to hit it. We hit it. Scott, we hit it real good.
And I asked him that, Scott, because I was like, you better have put that mulch back in there. Because mulch is expensive.
Yeah, it's not cheap. Well, especially back in 1994.
Yeah. Anyway, go on.
But anyways, so what happened was, what the hell was I even talking about?
I have no idea.
Oh, Chris was joining the Air Force, and he had so many points on his license that if he would get one more ticket, his license would have been suspended. And I guess in the Air Force, at least back then, they wouldn't take you if you had a suspended license.
Right.
So every time we would go out in his car, once we got to where the street races were held, I would do the driving. He would arrange the races, and I would do the driving.
I can shake my head.
Oh, very cool, Wayne. That would have been a blast doing that. It's funny because it's just a different time, and I sound like my father. It's just a different time.
Well, it was.
But I tell my students, I don't know about a lot of your states, but here in Florida, they have a thing that if they catch you street racing, they take the car.
Wow.
And you're going to court. There's a court date and everything.
Well,
which back then they would just come and say, hey, go race in somebody else's county.
I mean, but now it's like, come on, we can all go race on an
it's still
actual
going
track.
on though.
I don't want to know.
I know. I don't go.
Hey, Adam, how's it going?
Hey, Adam.
So we have about 6 more minutes left.
Is that how long we're staying?
Yeah.
Thank you, Benji.
Benji, come on. You're so sweet. You were 6 years old. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's how old he was when I was out street racing.
Yes, well.
He was pissing in his pants, and I was. We know Benji, by the way, so that's why I could say that. I would never talk to any other Ladies' Rights family member like that.
But once you get to know Joe, get ready.
Yes, get ready.
Because he's from Brooklyn and his dad's Sicilian, so
there's
gonna be some fun stuff.
My dad is Sicilian, so
yes. Yeah. Oh boy.
I have the perfect blend of my father and my mother. My mother's the same. My dad is just a volcano.
Well, he's Sicilian.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
People
happens.
understand that.
That's what happens. So so we have 6 minutes left.
What's your new car, Laurie? Adam wants to know. He just came in.
Oh, Adam.
We haven't gotten it yet. We haven't bought it yet.
And I know some people are like, well, there's so many other things you could get, but I fell in love with the BRZ, so I'm getting a BRZ.
BRZ.
Yeah. So
just as a fun car, we're gonna use one.
I want to autocross it.
A cheap one. We're not going out to spend $30,000 on a BRZ.
No, and it's really because I have a daily and I want something for the weekend. So
yes.
I'm excited about it. I fell in love with the 86.
Yes, it is a Subaru. Well, it's sort of a Subaru family. It's a Subaru and a Mazda.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're all Japanese, so that's that's good.
Until I get my Ford Raptor.
We got a good question. Tell Gabe what you can have a stick or a manual.
Oh, well, the whole point is getting a manual transmission.
No automatic.
Because I used to have a Focus ST. I just, with the seats, and that was the other thing. Somebody asked about, what about the GTI? Because you can get the GTI as...
you like the seats better than the BRZ.
Well, that's the thing, because listen, when you're getting in and out of the car and you're wearing heels, I mean, sorry, guys, you have to think about these things when you're a chick. And it's just impossible when it's got too much bolstering. So I'm picky, right? I wanted a certain amount of bolstering, and I really just like the feel and the seat positioning of the way the BRZ and the 86 are. So
we got somebody saying that you should get a Ford F-150.
Well, I would get a Raptor, and that is on my agenda. That's right. I am. Yes. Well, I guess I kind of am, Scott, but yeah. But anyway, I would get a Raptor. I'd get a Raptor.
Well, you like the Raptor, and the problem is that we're looking at a car that's like $13,000 to $15,000, or we're looking at a car that's $76,000.
Well, and it's like it'd be my
that's
second
a lot of
car,
money. That Ford Raptor's a lot. It's a lot of money.
Well, and that's kind of why I got the Mazda 3 was because I got a really good price, and I'm planned on saving up so that I could get my fun weekend car, something that I could have a blast in. It's pre-owned, so I'm not going to be.
Guys, you should have seen Laurie on the track for the first time at Utah. I was such a proud husband because for so many years I told Laurie, she would always ask me about my racing, and she would listen and enjoy the stories and watch racing with me on TV and go to the racing events, but she getting out on the racetrack did an amazing job.
Oh, it was so much fun.
And then on the autocross track and doing the little skills and drills where you were sliding the car 180 degrees into a parking spot.
I have to say, if you haven't done a track day, I mean, I know they're pricey, but it's worth it.
You have to. You have to one of these days,
to its edge, because you don't know. This was the biggest thing that I learned was that I wasn't pushing the car hard enough, that I could push the car harder.
Thank you, Gabe.
The other biggest thing that I didn't understand was braking.
Sure.
Like, you have to get all of your braking done before you turn.
Sure.
That is something that most people don't know how to do, and that was
should I tell them the story about when I first was driven by you in a manual transmission?
Sure.
So when I first met Laurie, obviously it came up in discussion that she knew how to drive manual transmission, and I was pleasantly pleased. But I had heard that before by other people that could not really drive very well. But I'll never forget the moment that Laurie took me for a spin in a manual transmission car. So what happened was I had ordered a 2015 Subaru WRX STI, and we were waiting for it.
He was so up in arms.
Yes.
We were waiting.
We were waiting and waiting. We went up to the Subaru dealership, and it just so happened that they had a WRX there.
In manual.
In manual. So I asked the sales guy, hey, can Laurie take it for a spin? So he threw us the keys. I was laughing my butt off the whole time because she was rolling through that 6-speed like a champ. I knew for sure I was eventually going to marry this woman. I was like, this is heaven.
I was like, I told you I could drive a 6.
Yes,
it was a blast.
Like a champ.
WRX is awesome.
You love the WRX, yeah, for sure.
That's if I could have a WRX, I would have that too. I did love the Focus XT, just not for a daily.
Sure.
For me.
And those Vacaros.
Yeah, the Vacaros.
The nice thing about the BRZ is that those seats, they're bolstered enough to where they hold you in, but they're not squeezing you.
Right.
And they're not pinching your hips.
Well, and that's the thing I really love about your Type RA. I really like the seats in your Type RA.
You do like the seats in the Type, and I like the seats in the Type. Even though they don't bolster as much as the RS, it's just more comfortable, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and just in and out. You want to get in and out of the car. If I was going to stay in the ST and race that car, perfect. Yeah. Because it's got you so tight in there, you're not going anywhere. But it's like, okay, I got to get out of the car with my suitcase, my briefcase, and all this other stuff. It was just not for me. So I needed a daily. So I got a Mazda 3, which was affordable. Got it at a
we stole it. We got it. She got it from the dealership with incentives and rebates. So
it was great.
Yeah,
so my whole objective was, all right, I want to save some money for a weekend car, but I just didn't know which one yet.
Yeah.
And so there were quite a few that I was thinking about, but I just really, really like the limited trim on the BRZ. And all the switches makes you feel like a race car.
Tell everybody what car you learned a manual transmission.
You guys want to know. So everybody knows what Joe's first car was.
Pontiac Firebird.
Right? And so we have this mutual thing in common of both of our first cars were Pontiacs.
Yes.
But I have a feeling the majority of the people that are in the chat room right now probably don't even know this car.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
My first car was a Pontiac Le Mans.
Yes, the Pontiac Le Mans.
Hatchback.
Yeah, and we're not talking about 1970 Le Mans. We're talking about 1980s.
Yeah, it was not.
Yeah.
It was not great.
But that's how you learn.
But that's how I learned into my second car, which was also a manual transmission. My favorite car
was the Civic.
It was the Celica.
The Toyota Celica. And then the Civic.
I loved that car.
And that's why you like the BRZ.
I drove the Celica until it broke down.
And that's why you like the BRZ?
Yeah. I really love that car.
It's one of those cars. What I find that's cool about the BRZ is that, like I said, you could buy the car. It's newer. It has certain features on it that only newer cars have, but yet have that old school feeling.
Yeah. And then of course, I liked Hondas too, and I had a couple Honda Civics.
See, look, Wayne knows that car. He knows a Pontiac Le Mans.
Yeah, Pontiac Le Mans.
So here's a little way of looking at it. If you go back to like 1970, the Pontiac Le Mans was the base, and then if you got a GTO, it was a Pontiac Le Mans on steroids.
Which I wish I would have had.
If you ever heard Pontiac GTO, that's what we're talking about 1970 wise. GTO came back later.
Jamie's wife was yelling in the background that Pontiac was her first car, was an 84.
I remember the Grand Am, the Grand Prix.
Oh yeah.
I miss Pontiac. I really do. I do too. I wish they would have got rid of Buick or something.
Well, that would have been nice. I mean, Buick's boring, but Pontiac was really
Believe it or not,
exciting.
what's crazy is Buick is a top seller in China. It's one of the top selling brands in China.
I had no idea.
Yes.
Why?
They love them. They love them.
That's really interesting.
It's really weird. It's really, really weird.
Oh my gosh.
Are you ready to?
Yeah, guys. So it's been an hour and a half that we've been online here.
Where are we going to dinner?
And we need to figure out where we're going to dinner.
Yes.
Got to walk the dog.
Oh, thank you, Jaden.
Oh, Jaden.
You will love a 2011 13 hatch for sure.
Oh, for sure.
And I would say
that was actually one of my favorites.
She wants a hatch. She wants a hatch really badly. I would say, remember, you could go all the way to 2014 because 2014 was the last year of the hatch. My advice, just like I would say about almost any other car, especially if it's performance oriented, try to find one stock. The problem is, or the challenge I should say, is that they hold their value really, really well. Thank you, Benji.
Benji, 65 GTO. Yeah, that would be sweet.
Yes, that would be sweet. Really but Jaden, definitely, a 2011 to 2014 WRX STI hatch really is a great car. And it looks
every
cool.
Time I see one, I stop and
I know.
I drool.
Would I buy a new 911, Matt? Yes. I was actually talking about this. So today, stay tuned later today, and that's another reason why we got to go soon.
Yeah.
I'm going to be posting a review of the 2020 Nissan GTR 50th Anniversary Edition.
Beautiful. Ask
me if I drove it. Yes, I did drive it. And if you're wondering, it's the same price as the 911S that I did not too long ago from Porsche of Tampa, the Carrera S. Same price. Would I rather have the GTR?
Okay, yeah, hold on. Would you rather have the GTR?
Yes. Yes, Frankie, Bayside Blue.
The Shelby GT500 or the C8 Corvette? GTR, Shelby, C8. Which would you pick?
I still would probably go GT350.
Yeah, I know.
I love the GTR. GTRs are great, and the C8's going to be great too. I want a manual transmission. Like I
don't know. I'm actually really excited to see this GTR review.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
You haven't stopped talking about this Nissan GTR since you drove it.
I know the GTR. I mean, especially when I drove that white one, that pre-owned one was pretty badass.
Yeah, but this one, the anniversary edition,
it's special. We actually got to see the car first unveiled at the New York Auto Show. Remember that?
Yes.
Yes, DCT, 6-speed DCT. Yes, Adam, there are some parts of the C8 which just doesn't look right, but.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see this.
But somebody asked between the Porsche and the GTR. I think I would take the Porsche over the GTR.
I kind of feel like I would take the GTR.
Really?
Yeah.
Since when?
Well, I mean,
you told me Porsche, the 911. It's classic. It's timeless.
Well, but if you have got a Porsche, then I'll take the GTR.
Maybe one day. NSX over that,
it's
though.
It's Godzilla, man. It's an iconic car.
It is, but it's a big car. You don't like big cars.
Well, how do you know?
Because I was the one you told me.
But I like a Ford Raptor.
That is true. Well, that's not a car, it's a truck.
Well, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're all great, man. If I could have one of everything, I mean,
we could be here arguing about this all day, which I'm sure you guys would be like, oh, okay, that's
I've been walking around Disney Springs for the last hour and a half on my phone.
Oh, my God. Mike, get out of there.
Mike, you're awesome, man.
Awesome.
You're crazy to be going to Disney on a weekend.
Oh, yes. Bless you.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's not even cool. It's like
she's going to dump him for Mickey. Fingers crossed.
Yes. But, well, so is it about that time?
Yeah. All right. So guys, stay tuned. We got a lot.
What time is it? Oh my God, it's almost 5 o'clock.
We gotta go post the video.
I gotta finish getting the GTR, like putting all the tags and the description and all that. But stay tuned because as soon as we disappear, within about 20 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so,
we gotta go.
The new GTR 2020 Anniversary Edition from Mas Nissan. We love all of you. Larry, thank you. Thank you, Jaden. Thank you, Benji and Matt and everybody else that super chatted. Thank you for sticking around. 121 people watching us.
Oh, I know. It's really awesome.
And then, of course, thank you so much for being part of
this. Is because of you guys.
Thank you. We really appreciate this.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. All right, well, have a great Saturday afternoon. And just like always, guys, we'll see you on the next ride.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.